yet never came to be. So, Giannis and Ja Morant, neither one got moved. Boogie, were you shocked? Were you like, yeah, that makes sense? Initial response.
I was more shocked on the Ja Morant, situation. It's just been so much, chaos around that situation. As far as, suspending them early in the year, documenting that, him and the coach don't so-called get along, whatever the case may be. So to see him last past the deadline with the moves they've made already, with the move of, sending Jaren Jackson to Utah, it was just a clear-cut sign that, Ja was on his way out the door as well. Yeah. So, that was more of a shock to me than anything. But as far as the Giannis situation, I'm just a bit confused at this point. I don't really know, like, at this point, it's like, do you want to get moved or do you not? You know what I mean? It's like it's changing with every day that passes. So it's a real up and down type of, notion. Like, do you want to go or not? You know what I mean? And if so, just stay put and let's move on and y'all do what y'all do. So that one's more so weird to just figure out in general. I don't know what's going on, though.
I find it annoying, actually. Yeah. It's been very annoying, Lou. And we'll get into the social media posts and all that because I got opinions on that as well. But what did you think? Yeah. Did you think one of them at least?
I feel the opposite of Boogie, right? Like, I was more surprised that Milwaukee didn't make a move opposed to Memphis. We had a lot of chaos going on in Memphis early in this season, but since then, a lot of the talk had subsided. You didn't hear a lot from Ja Morant's camp. You didn't hear a lot from, the Memphis Grizzlies as an organization. But when it comes to Milwaukee Bucks, we were getting a report every other day, from Giannis' side and the Bucks side, and they were working together, and it was something coming out every different day to the point where the internet's calling Shams a storyteller because it didn't go the way that he's saying he goes, but he was just as confused as everybody else as since we're done with it now, so. I don't know what to make of this. I'm confused just as much as Boogie. Obviously with the post on X kind of makes it even more confusing, and all of these things. But I was almost certain. Well, I don't want to say certain, but I wasn't surprised that Ja Morant didn't get moved. I was more so surprised that Giannis stayed, and the attitude of him staying afterwards as well. It was all confusing to me.
Yeah, is he smarter? Does he think he's smarter? Like, I'm trying to figure this Giannis thing out. Like, and by the way, the post, for those of you who I don't know how you missed it, is from Wolf of Wall Street, and it's the famous scene when Leo DiCaprio is like, "I'm not effing leaving," and then he had the quote, "Legends don't chase, they attract." I mean, it's just corny, but that's fine. That's my own opinion. I've put my name on that one. I think he thinks he's outsmarting us. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Like I said, I don't know what this is. Like, I'm a clear-cut guy. So if I want to be there, I'd let it be known I want to be there. Right. If I don't want to be there, then I'll let it be known I don't want to be there. But like I said, that with the change of every other day, like it's almost like we're being forced to deal with a toxic relationship. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be in the midst of y'all drama every other day. Like, if y'all gonna do that, do it in the privacy of your own. So. I don't know. I'm confused. Like I said,
he doesn't want to be there. Yeah. He doesn't want to be there. Yeah. That team's not good.
Where do we? Yeah. Where do we go from here? So
summer.
He's deactivated for the rest of the season, if I'm understanding that correctly, right? So
I don't know anymore.
We're not going to see him play this year.
Right.
So that part of it is that part of it is over. The summertime, we all know that the Knicks can do better business in the summer. They can put together a better option or a better package for Giannis. So that conversation is still alive. We don't know where to go from here. He's saying, the legends don't chase, they attract. I didn't see any moves that really made the Milwaukee Bucks a destination place at this trade deadline. So it's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and I felt like they could have been answered if we just would have got some straight, clear-cut information from both sides. I know they're using the thing that said, "Hey, Giannis never wanted to get traded. Giannis never said that he wanted to be traded." Sure, but we also had reports of his representation working with the Milwaukee Bucks to see if they can get on the same page. So there was movement there. So don't make anybody that's reporting that out to be a liar. that was reporting on that based on the information that's coming out of what was going on with the information you guys were giving us. So again, I don't think this saga. I still don't think this saga is over. If Giannis is going to stay in Milwaukee for the entirety of his career, I think all legends as he is, I think they should. I think they should have that opportunity. But again, let's be clear cut about how we're going to move forward. Especially, we're going to criticize the people involved for reporting on it, and you giving us mixed messaging every other day.
Yeah,
So
it's no
that's my
secret.
take.
Shams Charania is our guy. We worked with him. We watched him in action. He takes it very seriously, almost too seriously sometimes. I worry for his health. So when people try to throw him under the bus, that is very irritating. He didn't make any of that stuff up. He's getting it from somebody. I think what bothers some of us about this Giannis situation is you don't get to have it both ways, man. Some people aren't built to be villains. I understand that. They don't want it. They don't want any part of it. He's one of those types. So if you say one thing out of one side of your mouth and then stuff behind the scenes through your agent, you're still saying it. Maybe you didn't say the words out loud, but your agent did, and the agent is a part of you, is a representation of you. So he's going to get moved this summer. I just feel like this whole thing's just been a manipulative gaslighting for all of us. And if you're a Bucks fan or a Giannis fan, maybe you get to feel a little better today. Like, see, he's not going anywhere. Well, he is, actually. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. He'll be gone. He'll be gone this summer. So that is coming. Like,
Pop off, bees. Pop off.
I don't like, it's okay to be a villain. Like, it'll pass. It'll pass.
Or just
LeBron
be
was a
very-
villain
or-
once.
Let's just be clear.
Yeah.
That's all. You don't even necessarily even have to be the villain. Let's just be clear with
truthful.
the messaging. If you want to stay, say you want to stay, and I want them to bring in some pieces to build around me, and let's move forward. If you want to go, then say you want to go. That was all. And then again, at the end of all of this, it's like, well, told y'all. It's like, no, you didn't. Like we're all confused, and so that's all we're asking. Let's just be clear about it, and then once it goes one way or another, you try to make us out to be crazy people. So that was all.
$1 billion he's gone this summer. That's my bet on that one. And by the way, Shams also had reports on the John Morant situation as well. And apparently, obviously, people were intrigued by the level of talent that he possesses. The only part of the problem, Lou, was that no one really seemed like they were willing to make a very serious offer. And so now I'm wondering, okay, let's move forward with John Morant. He's now still a Grizzly, but what does his future look like?
It looks like it's going to be a Memphis Grizzly. He's out with an elbow injury right now. And so, the way that I see it in my opinion, it looks like he's going to finish out the season. I think the Memphis Grizzlies are hoping that he plays well. He plays up to all-star form, as the John Morant that they're used to seeing. And then visiting these conversations in the summertime, the same way the Milwaukee Bucks are going to look at it in the summertime. I think this is what it is. If they weren't getting the offers that they thought they wanted, or think that that's what John Morant deserved as a player, and those things didn't come in, we'll revisit this in the offseason and see if we move forward with him and build around him with some pieces. Obviously they got a lot of cap space, but it looks like that they're going to use that cap space to turn it into a rebuild, or they can go out and get some guys and they can try to, rekindle this thing one more time with John Morant as their lead, and so I think they just bought themselves some time to allow themselves to go into the offseason and see what they can do from there.
Do you think he play like when he's ready? Do you think he goes out and play? Do you think they try to shut him down? Like, I'm wondering what they think they're going to do here.
I mean, it seems like the trend in the league is to start deactivating players at this point in the season. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Like I said earlier, it didn't really make sense to me as to why they would keep him after the deadline. You made all your other moves. You traded another huge foundational piece in the franchise. I don't understand. It's almost like a punishment in a way. You send all my friends off and you just leave me here. You know what I mean? So,
well, it makes you wonder what the offers were. If they got what they got for Jaren Jackson, and we all thought that bought them a little bit of wiggle room to maybe take a lesser offer for John Morant, and then they still didn't.
That's exactly what I thought.
What were the offers? Like, that's what I really want to know. We may never know, but maybe somebody can get that for us, because they must have been awful.
And I'll never understand the self-sabotage of suspending him earlier in the season. If you'd already knew,
that's why I think
they knew
again,
at that point they were ready to move on.
I thought so too.
So you know the deadline is on the way. You kill his value, then you don't like the offers at the deadline. So now you keep him.
That's weird.
It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense.
And I think, and Book, that's why I think that we see him again in uniform for the Memphis Grizzlies this year, opposed to being deactivated. I think they allow him to go out there and shine and be the Ja Morant that we've gotten accustomed to seeing, playing above the rim, attacking the basket, playing with a lot of joy and excitement, and trying to lead the team that's left of what they have, with them trading away, like you said, all of his friends and all of the core guys that started with him. Bane is out of there now. Dylan Brooks is out of there now, and Triple J is out of there now. He's the last of that core four that they had. But this is an opportunity for him to go out there, get that value back up, and then maybe teams come knocking with a better offer come free agency. So we'll see.
You think you get a better version of him with now playing basically losing basketball? You think his value will increase?
If he's playing for his future, maybe would that help?
I mean,
he got to control what he can control. The only thing Ja Morant can control is how well that he plays if he goes out and he decides to compete. That's the only thing that he can control. And I don't see him going out there with the attitude of, I'm gonna stink it up some more, or I'm not playing with any joy and all of these things that we heard before. At the end of the day, he was playing decently before he got hurt. The play that he got hurt, he was trying to make a defensive play. That tells me he's out there playing with heart. He's out there playing with courage and trying to win basketball games. I don't think that'll be any different if he comes back.
Boogie, when you were ready to leave Sacramento, was it a slow burn, or was there do you remember like a moment where you went, yep, nope, we're done, I have time to go?
I was so stuck on trying to, be that guy to help the Sacramento get back to the playoffs. Obviously they ended up making it a little later on, but that was my number one goal. So I was, I wanted to stick through it. I felt like I had, the will to make that happen. But it came to a certain point when a certain coach came in, and I knew, and it was at a halfway point in the season, so obviously at that point I couldn't really make anything shake. But going into that off season, and just that short experience with that coach, I knew like this situation wasn't gonna get, or this situation wasn't aligned with what I'm trying to do in my career. So I knew at that point it was time to go, and I ended up requesting a trade, and for some reason it didn't go through. They ended up holding me that summer. So I ended up returning back, and then eventually they ended up trading me. So it was a weird situation, but I knew at that point it was time for me to get up out of there.
Yeah. I always find that interesting. There's like a moment where I'll just go, nope, this is not the job, we're out. This was a fun one. This one sort of came in under the wire. Ivica Zubac's getting a little change.